All right. Good morning and welcome to episode 4 of the weekly wrap with Vachon and Rapp. And I am Frank Rapp.
I am Matt Vachon.
And this is week 4 or week 3. We've done 4 of these now. Um, People seem to like them. I know my father watches, and we pop him every time we record because
In all fairness, though, he's the man. So
he is the man. He is the man. He bought a newer truck, and he's all excited about that.
yeah,
I just got one the other day, so I'm excited about that. Um, I was talking to Barbie this morning, and I said, she goes, I haven't listened yet, and I was like, huh. I said, "No, I don't think my mom has either. Some support we have. My own wife and mom don't listen."
I know my mom at least listened to the first one. I haven't. Uh, I don't know if she's listened to all of them yet because the feedback I got was she was like, "Well, apparently you still have a lot of stuff at my house," and I'm like, "Yeah," because I was like, "Oh, my figures, which are at my mom's or my program, which are probably at my mom's house somewhere." Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I do. So one of these days, I'll come get all that stuff.
You should probably go get all that stuff and see what you actually have.
Just go through it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I got tubs and tubs full of stuff. So, but yeah,
It's all gold. You got to get that stuff,
yeah, I know. I know.
and it's not like she lives that far away.
No, no, about 40 yards, 50 yards, as the crow flies.
All right, so today we're gonna recap the week of wrestling, and just talk about the week of sports. Some ridiculous trade happened last night that we'll talk about today. I have no idea what the Rams are doing, but we'll talk about that as we get through this. But holy shit, what a week!
Yeah,
So the WWE Network is moving from their own platform in the US and moving over to Peacock for 5 years for $1 billion. And this was after NBC announced that they're getting rid of NBC Sports at the end of the year. So now they can afford to do this shit. This just boggles my mind altogether.
yeah, yeah. I don't understand, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I already have Peacock, so I'm like, sweet. Now I don't have to. I don't feel. I'm like, oh, sweet. Now I can go back and watch a lot of the stuff I kind of wanted to watch, but I didn't want to pay for.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It kicks off March 18th, and then their first pay per view is March 21st, which is Fastlane, which again nobody will watch.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, and speaking of nobody will watching, tonight is the Royal Rumble, and we'll talk about that probably later on too. I will be watching. You won't be watching. We know this
yeah,
already, so we won't really talk about it in depth. Um, but I just can't get over. I guess it makes sense for them to do this, because they only have like 1.6 million subscribers in the US, and Peacock's at, I believe, 26 million subscribers. So you're going to add all this content to that
yeah,
app and to them. It just makes them that much more dominant now, I think, in the whole streaming, wars between, NBC, CBS is launching Paramount Plus in March. I'm sure ABC will do their own thing, and probably Fox at some point, and just keep just all these big companies just keep buying everything and putting it out on an app and making you pay for it.
yeah. Have you seen any of the data about like subscriptions for the WWE network, like, where they are and compared to like a year ago or 2 years ago? Like, are they gaining? Are they losing? Are they leveling out? Or
I'm pretty sure I think it's about the same. I mean,
yeah,
it's been that 1.3 to 1.6 for the last, I think, year or so. I
yeah,
could be wrong. I mean, I guess it's just, I guess this is more or less, in my mind, this is more of a cash grab than anything.
yeah, yeah,
They're still keeping their network, in different parts of the world. They're going to keep it active, but just not in the U.S. It's going to be
yeah,
all Peacock. And then I guess it's like I said, it's all money. Like, it's all
yeah,
money related. Let's be real. Like, you're getting $1 billion over a 5 year period. That's basically what they're getting to have SmackDown on Fox.
yeah. Right.
And this is a fucking streaming app. Like,
Yeah,
$1 billion for 5 years to have your shit on an app.
yeah,
I mean, I would love it if we did this for 5 years and we got our shit sold on an app so people can watch our fucking ugly mugs first thing in the morning for
or even like $100.
oh, $100 for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it'll be curious to see like what happens like after with like TV ratings if more people because it's on Peacock check it out and then it crosses over to them watching like the weekly stuff. But
Well, if you think about it, NXT will probably be on Peacock in October.
yeah,
Because that's when their deal ends with USA. That's
yeah,
what John texted me and said this week when we talked about this on Monday.
yeah,
And then if they're gonna move sporting events to USA, I can see Raw moving to Peacock next year or whatever.
yeah,
I mean, if the Raw, I can see it, but then again, I don't know if I can really see it because even with Raw shitty ratings, it's still the highest rated program on USA.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and we both
I
know.
mean, yeah, it's over. They always have over 100 million. I mean, not over over a million like viewers like every episode. So
Right, and even though the ratings have gone down in the last year
yeah,
longer, they still pop a rating. People still watch wrestling, no matter what kind of shit they put out there. People still watch it. You know, I don't watch Raw regularly. I don't watch SmackDown regularly, like we've said before. It's just one of those things. It's 3 hours is too much.
yeah,
When they first went to 3 hours all those years ago, it was too much then. It's too much now. I think 2 hours would be good. I think from if they went back to 9 to 11 would be good, but they'll never do it because it's all money related
yeah,
and they pop a big rating for USA.
yeah. And the later it goes, the viewership kind of drops off.
It
So many
does.
people on the East Coast
It
going
does.
to bed. People falling asleep at 9:30. So,
Hey, that's you.
so yeah, but yeah, I think I don't know. I'm interested to see how it all plays out. So
Well, we'll see March 18th if their app fucking crashes, and we'll see what
yeah,
happens. So it's going to be interesting to see, with all the technology that goes into this, like how well it's going to be pulled off. Will it look the same as the network does now?
yeah,
There's going to be a completely different platform because
yeah,
you both know how Peacock works. They have their own channels on the side there. Do they have their own WWE channel and it just plays network shit all day like they do with like Dan Patrick and like the sports
yeah,
channel and the news channel? I mean, that would be kind of cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I hope that when it comes over in its entirety. Like it's not like they don't shave anything down and
I believe it's supposed to be. I believe it's all moving over. I mean, it's gonna.
yeah,
We'll see what happens, but that's what everyone's saying. It's gonna move. Everything's gonna move over. So, and then we'll talk about Raw. Nothing really happened on Raw. Orton gave Alexa Bliss an RKO, and then Edge declared for the Rumble.
really.
Yeah,
That's kind of interesting though.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more about the Rumble too, because there's some more stuff that you probably didn't know that happened last night.
Yeah, probably a lot.
Yeah. So there's Monday. Right? Raw sucks. Drew's gonna fight Goldberg. Whatever. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Um, and then Tuesday. Nothing really happened Tuesday. Really? Did it? No.
No.
No. AEW Wednesday had their awards or whatever,
Yeah.
and then we
Yeah.
had Shaq call out Cody Rhodes, which I guess is gonna happen in March.
Yeah.
Which again we talked about Wednesday. No one cares and nobody wants to watch it.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm not interested in seeing Shaq and
Yeah.
other woman fight Cody and another woman that I don't know of.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I like Cody and I like Shaq, but uh, I would have been more interested if this was Shaq like at age like 25, like wrestling, not at age like 50 or whatever he is now, So, but yeah, so I don't know. Like gimmicky matches with celebrities, I'm never like a big fan of because they're not from that world. They don't have the training, like so the matches are always like, pretty weak.
Well, if you think about this for a second, as you were talking, I was thinking about this. Mr. T main evented WrestleMania. the first one.
Mm.
So this has been going on way
Yeah.
before
Oh
that.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like you remember we don't remember. We weren't alive, but the Kaufman stuff with Lawler and Memphis,
Yeah.
that was really probably the first time you had that crossover.
Yeah.
And then
And there was Ali fought.
Ali fought Monsoon.
Yeah. Well, the Japanese guy too.
Oh,
By again before our
Inoki. He fought Inoki.
yeah, yeah. Again, but again before our time. But yeah, so it has been going on, for
Ever. Mr. T probably didn't needed to be in that main event at WrestleMania, but at the time, Vince couldn't trust Jimmy Snuka, so
Yeah.
Mr. T was thrown in. Yeah. And people forget he was in WrestleMania 2 too. He fought Piper in that boxing match.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he was 2 straight years. He was prominently featured on a WrestleMania. It just goes to show you the crossover's been there for 30 years, if not more now.
Plus, yeah.
Probably never going to change.
No.
I mean, and really they're only doing the Shaq thing because Shaq's a part of the whole TNT family too. Like that's just to see if they can pop a rating.
Yeah.
Or pop a pay-per-view buy, which I don't think people are buying a pay-per-view to watch Shaq fucking wrestle.
No, not even if it came with a free Shaq-a-roni pizza.
Ooh, from Papa John's.
Papa John's, which is just basically a pepperoni pizza with more pepperoni.
Yeah.
It still tastes like Papa John's though.
It does, which isn't terrible pizza.
Yeah, but it's like
this match will probably be worst match of the year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
By far. I can't unless WWE does something stupid, which they could in the next 11 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, that no one wants to see that. We both said that.
Yeah. No one wanted to see Snoop jump off the top rope either.
No. And again, no.
Yeah.
But that was a push that show, go big show. So I mean, I get it, but still. And then another wrestler we don't want to see wrestle is Sting.
Yeah, and not because we don't love him, but because we're like we do love him and we don't want him to get hurt. Yeah. I just don't want another scene of a wrestler chasing after his ambulance going, I dressed as you for Halloween. But I love Sting coming back. I think it's really cool, but I don't want to see him get hurt, and I don't know.
I mean, he got hurt at the Buckle Bomb in 2015.
Yeah.
He retired and they put him in the Hall of Fame the next year. And then they didn't do anything with him. So his contract ran out and Tony Khan called him and they made a deal. I don't know how much he's making, but he's on TV just about every week.
Yeah.
Granted, they tape, they go live and tape the next day, which is fine.
Yeah.
But they're live this week and then they'll tape on Thursday. So, I mean, he's making money. Let's be real. He's staying. He's been around a long time.
Yeah.
He's probably making $1 million.
Yeah, probably.
And they're gonna do it.
Plus his cut from all the pro wrestling tees merch and stuff too. He's doing okay.
He's doing okay for himself. I'm sure he saved his money. He's smart. He doesn't need the money. I think he's just doing it because he wants to do it.
Yeah.
More power to him. But I don't want to see you wrestle, dude.
Yeah.
I had the utmost respect for you. I've had for 30 years now going on, watching you, back when you fought Flair at Clash of Champions 1. I don't want to see you in anything. And that's not a knock. And that's not a knock on you or anything like that. It's just I don't want to see you get hurt again.
Yeah. We're saying it out of love.
Yeah. I'm not saying, no. If I was going to say it, I could shit all over him, but I'm not going to because there's no point. There's nothing to shit on about.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see him wrestle. And, I know it's going to be a cinematic match and, we all know how those go and those sometimes are really good. and sometimes those are really bad. You know, not argued with John, but John hated the Boneyard match at WrestleMania last year, and I loved it. So
Yeah.
it's just a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
I thought that was the best match of that whole fucking WrestleMania last year.
Yeah, I thought so too. That was like one of the only. See, I saw like what everyone was talking about the next day because I didn't watch it live, and then I went back because I still had the network then, and I went back and I watched that one, and there was like another match that was pretty good. I went back and watched, but yeah, that was everybody's consensus highlight of Mania that I saw. But
And then they did the other cinematic match with Cena and Bray Wyatt, and that was
yeah,
awful.
yeah,
You know, just whatever. But Sting, I love you, dude. But please don't get hurt. Like that's all. You know.
yeah,
And and Ricky Starks and Brian Cage, they're great wrestlers. Brian Cage does a tremendous job wrestling with little wrestlers. And I'm not saying, I'm not meaning little. I'm just saying short wrestlers. He
yeah,
makes them look like $1,000,000. He's done it in
yeah,
his whole career. This is just going to be different. I know it's a street fight. Uh, I just, as a fan, I worry.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I want to see Omega get his ass kicked by Moxley, but I don't
yeah,
think that's going to happen.
yeah.
Um, I, I, I know
You know,
Kenny's a heel, and I think Kenny now is a heel. I think it's probably better for him, but I hated him before, and I still fucking hate his guts.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know if it's kind of flat for you, but it's kind of flat for me. Like the whole
yeah,
crazy anything, Don Callis, yeah, go fuck yourself. You can go away.
yeah, yeah. I could give a shit about that angle. Like I don't care. I don't like Don Callis's character. Like I'm sure as a person he's all right, but I hate his character. Like I don't like it. I don't care. I don't care about Impact. I don't care.
The only
you know.
good thing about it is we get to see the Good Brothers on AEW, which
Yeah.
we both love them.
Yep.
Great. I think they're setting up with this battle royal this week. They haven't announced the Good Brothers in it yet, but I'm pretty sure the Good Brothers are going to be in it and they're going to win. They're going to fight the Bucks.
Yeah.
Because that's the only logical thing in my mind that can happen, especially after what happened on Wednesday, where they kind of teased it at the end of the show.
Yeah.
I mean, do I want to see the Bucks and the Good Brothers go? No. Do I think it will be a good match? No, but I get why they're doing it. So,
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the Bucks. I had their T-shirt because I bought it because when they fought the Hardy Brothers and Ring of Honor in that ladder match, and then the Hardys showed up on WrestleMania the next day, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
But you work for 3 different companies that weekend. Hats off to you, Jeff.
Yeah.
And way to go! Like that's fucking awesome. I just don't. Whatever. Get the belt. Like I said last week or the week before, get the belts back on Dash and Dax and fucking let them fucking roll.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the best. They're the best. They're my favorite to watch. Like anyway,
hands down, down. And Jungle Boy beating him the other night, that was good. I mean, I get where they're going with that too, but still, I love those guys. Tully Blanchard doing that spike pile driver from the rope. Brought me back to like the 80s. Oh, it was great.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be cool to, I mean, you can't do it, but it would be cool if they could somehow get Flair and stuff too, and do like a big like Horseman like reunion type thing. But I don't think that'll ever happen.
Well, because they just re-signed Flair, so no.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he's basically they'll keep re-signing him until he dies, and
I mean that's smart. I mean, yeah, they went away from Hogan for a while there, but they brought him back. So
yeah.
Flair's the same thing, Flair will get pissed off and then come back and get pissed off. It's the same thing with Hogan. It's the love-hate relationship there with 2 of the biggest icons in the business, and they're still going to be there. I mean, I
think that's just how it is. Like, I think Vince gets his feelings hurt like sometimes, and I mean, you saw the same thing happen with Pritchard. Forever Pritchard said, "Oh yeah, no, I'm not going back." You can never say never, but I'm not going back, and he's very back at this point. So, Yeah, so yeah, you never know.
Yeah, because
But
they fired him in '08. Then he went to TNA twice,
yeah,
and then his podcast took off. Let's be real.
yeah,
If his podcast didn't take off, he wouldn't fucking be where he is now.
no,
And he says that too. Like they only reached out to him because of how good his podcast was.
yeah,
And I didn't know about his podcast until John told me. And then
yeah. I didn't know until John told me.
I
You know,
downloaded it and was like, holy shit, this is insanely great. So,
yeah,
you know, it's all luck. It's all just,
yeah,
life fucking happens. And he happened to be in the right place at the right time.
yeah,
And Conrad was in the right place at the right time. Like, how about that fucking guy? Like,
yeah,
um, Shivani, Bischoff, Jim Ross, Arn Anderson, Bruce Pritchard, now fucking Kurt Angle
yeah,
has a podcast now. Like, that's 6 that I can count on my
yeah,
hand. On top of he's doing one with Chris Hero on
yeah,
Apple shows, which the first episode is fucking amazingly good.
yeah.
Oh, Chris Hero is just one of the smartest men in the business. It's not, and he gets no credit for it whatsoever. That guy is a fucking genius.
Well, isn't he doing stuff with Dr. Tom and
Yeah, Dr. Tom, and then Mike Chioda, and then Gerald Briscoe,
yeah, right, right.
and then he did a video with Jim Hurd up on there, and then he's supposed to do one. I think David
Really?
Crockett. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Huh. Yeah, but I'm like, because he does so much research, and I'm sure, like, I mean, he doesn't do all that research himself. I'm sure, Silva helps out
oh
and
yeah,
everything like that, but still, I mean, to do all those shows and to do all that research and
yeah.
like it's like, yeah, it's so impressive, like the way he just goes right down the list with everything. Like, yeah, but to do it with that many people, I'm like, how do you sleep? Like,
Yeah.
how do you run a business?
Yeah.
Like on top of that, like,
Yeah. I mean, I have a real cracks, people behind the scenes doing stuff for me. I mean, I talked to Barbie in Brooklyn and they look at me like I have 30 heads. So
yeah,
you want to talk what? Wrestling and
yeah,
sports?
yeah,
You've lost me. And I'm like, and then she talks about politics. I'm like, yeah, you've lost me because I don't.
yeah, yeah,
So I mean, yeah, that you got hats off to him. Like, he pushed Pritchard, and then once Pritchard took off, then he got everybody else, man. Because Jim Ross's podcast before Conrad sucked,
yeah,
and we both love Jim Ross, but him talking by himself sucked. Now
yeah,
having Conrad, it's one of the best podcasts out there.
yeah,
And we both knew Arn Anderson was a good listen, but it's even better now with Connor.
yeah,
Just that person with him, like you and me. We can do this all day. I can do this by myself. You can do this by yourself, but it's gonna sound like shit.
yeah,
Now
exactly.
that we're both here, it's fucking fantastic because we both
Yeah.
feed off each other.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like, yeah, I mean, he's so great at everything he does. Like, he puts everybody over. He does
Oh,
a
yeah.
great job. Like he makes all the people he's working with look good. So
Yeah, and remember thinking back though, being a Pritchard, how much fun they'd make fun of Jerry Jarrett and then
oh yeah.
Triple
Yeah.
H. Oh, it's
Yeah.
so fun. Now,
Yeah.
like nothing happens. Now, like
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Some of the Vince impersonations have kind of, you don't hear too many of those anymore. Especially like, some of the
the earlier episodes.
yes. But yeah. So I mean you could tell he's a little bit more careful
Oh yeah.
about but I mean whatever, I get it.
So if you want to listen to that, it's Something to Wrestle. Search it on YouTube or go to Apple Podcasts. You'll find it, and it is one of the best podcasts out there. Even when he doesn't record for 2 weeks at a time. But hey,
Yeah.
whatever, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then NXT this week. Do you watch Walter? Have you heard of Walter?
I know Walter. Yeah, I don't watch NXT regular, but I know who Walter is.
So
Yeah.
apparently they're pushing for him to come over to the States now. There was a vignette run for him that he might show back up on NXT.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be all right. I mean, I liked him. I liked his character. All right. He's pretty good.
Yeah,
But
he's just a big guy,
Yeah.
that kicks everybody's ass.
yeah.
Let's see. Hold on. I got some other stuff here that we can talk about too, about this week in wrestling. Oh, did you see they put on AEW, Dolph's brother was on AEW?
Goff's brother?
Dolph Ziggler.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, it was Ryan Nemeth fought Adam Page.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's Dolph's brother.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Bad Bunny's gonna sing at the Royal Rumble tonight.
She's gonna sing.
Yeah, do you know who Bad Bunny is?
Yeah.
They sang he had hit single Booker T. They're gonna sing that tonight because Booker T was in the video.
Is he gonna be in the Rumble?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, do you have a Rumble guess who's gonna win on either side, men or women's? Do you care?
No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who's in it, so I don't even know.
So last night on WWE Backstage, they did a thing where they announced numbers 1 and 2 for the men's Royal Rumble. So can you guess who number 1 was?
Triple H.
No, number 1. No, good guess though. Number 1 was Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Guess who number 2 was?
Lesnar.
Edge.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That's interesting. So, so he's going to be in the ring for a while, probably.
Yes. I can see Edge going all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Not necessarily winning, but I could see Edge, and I could see both of them going to the end.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I don't know any surprises. Maybe Lesnar shows up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they always do surprises. Even for the women. I mean, but I Lesnar maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the Hurricane comes out tonight.
You never know. Like, don't rule anything out.
I mean, I don't even know who's gonna win. People were pulling. Daniel Bryan's a heavy favorite right now, the betting favorite. But I don't really necessarily know if I want to see Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
On the women's side, Natalya got number 30 because she beat Tamina last night on WWE Backstage. I don't know. I mean, maybe Bayley wins or Bianca Belair wins. I can't see. I don't know if they're gonna have Charlotte win. I don't know. Maybe Becky Lynch makes a surprise return and wins.
Yeah.
But
did she have the baby already? Or?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Beginning of December.
Yeah.
Does Rousey come back tonight and win?
Oh. Is she still under contract, or is that?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so out of the loop. I don't know. Like,
well, it's pretty easy to get back in. Just go fucking play with your figures and then put them together. And there's Raw.
Yeah. So then Captain Lou Albano came in.
Captain Lou came in from the grave and won.
Yeah. Him and Piper came down. It was great.
Wow. Wow. Well, I mean, stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
I mean, so here's what's going to be. Drew's going to beat Goldberg. Okay. Banks is going to beat Carmella. Charlotte and Asuka will beat Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax to retain the women's title, tag team titles, which, again, no one fucking cares about. Reigns will beat Kevin Owens and retain. My prediction is Bayley will win the women's Rumble and Daniel Bryan will win the men's Rumble. And you're going to have some surprises thrown in there. I could see them maybe having Edge win and then Matt Orton somehow beating McIntyre at Fastlane or some shit so they fight for the title, because that was the original plan a year ago. I mean, I don't know if Lesnar's going to show up. I mean, if they want fans at WrestleMania, then maybe. Does Cena show up tonight? Like, because he's rumored to fight, AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I mean, they could go a number of different ways, but Vince changes his fucking mind every 30 seconds. I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So Edge is good health-wise?
He's all recovered from his torn pectoral. So I mean, they wouldn't have, He
Yeah.
wasn't on that thing on Raw if he wasn't. I mean,
Yeah.
so I was kind of surprised they actually did that on Monday instead of just him showing up as a surprise
Yeah.
like last year. Even though it got out beforehand that he was going to be there. So,
Yeah.
um, also this week, Tuesday, I take that back. Tuesday was my parents' anniversary, and it was Kobe Bryant's year of his death.
Jeez.
Yeah, yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
How many years have been together?
My parents have been married for 41 years because I'll be 39 in June.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Congratulations.
yeah, I'm surprised my mom hasn't killed him yet.
I mean, it's just water, but cheers.
Especially since he's been retired. I'm surprised she hasn't killed him
Yeah.
yet.
Right. I'm surprised he didn't come out of retirement.
No, I'm pretty sure he's done.
Yeah,
He's
he's
done.
done.
He did his time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you gotta give you gotta give those people credit. Like they worked their ass off all their lives at one place, and he's a civil servant just like you are. And these motherfuckers in the Senate and the fucking House get one fucking term and get everything for the rest of their fucking life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's fucking absolute shit.
Yeah.
Like you work your ass off 6 days a week, sometimes even 7.
Kevin. Yeah.
And these motherfuckers go in there and make all these fucking rules and all this fucking bullshit. And they get paid the rest of their fucking life.
Yeah.
And you guys, you get your retirement, which is like, half your fucking pay in some cases, or some cases you get most of your pay. It all depends on what happens, but still, it's complete fucking shit. And there needs to be fucking term limits and get all these fucking old crockety motherfuckers out of that fucking place. Get some of these young people in there that have a fucking mind and can think.
Right.
And it's never going to happen because they're never going to pass the term limits because the fucking asshole in office won't sign it, and that stupid vice president won't sign it either, and the House people don't want it, and the Senate people don't want it because they want their cushy fucking jobs.
That's the thing. They'll never slice their own throats.
No, people like you and myself and everybody else in the world that bust their fucking ass for above minimum wage or minimum wage, we get the big fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah,
because we both know when we're at the age of retirement that Social Security will be fucking gone for us.
Yeah.
We won't get fucking shit.
Yeah, that's why like so many people are on what I like to call toe tag retirement, where they just work till they're dead.
Yeah,
that's why like anybody that can get, like when your dad got out, I was like, that's so great that you got out and you have time to enjoy it. Like my mom just retired in October, and same thing. I'm like, that's so great that. Like you're like, you didn't have to retire for physical reasons, and you didn't, it's like you can still go live your life and enjoy things, for a little while. So, but she just picked up a new job, so but it's like a passion because she's big into like flowers and plants, like our yard's like all
oh yeah it is.
So the place where she gets all of her plants from, like this older lady that runs it, she asked my mom like last year, they were talking, and she was like, oh, if you want to come help, she's like, I'll work for free plants, free flowers. I'm like, Mom, don't do that. But I'm like, get some money out of it, Christ.
Well, I mean, if they're weed plants, fucking sign me up. Let's go.
No, unfortunately they're all like flowers. I don't know what the hell they are, That's what she'll go on about it. I'm like, I don't know what any of that stuff is, Mom. I'm like,
it's kind of like when you talk to her about wrestling.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sometimes it's just
Yeah. So Kobe's death and his daughter's death, and those 7 other people died.
Yeah,
it was the anniversary on the 26th.
Yeah.
That was, he was my favorite. Kobe was the man. It was Jordan as a kid, and then it was Kobe in my a teen / adult. Well, more my adult life because Jordan was still there, but he retired in '98 and then came back and played for the Wizards, which we all know was a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
But we still got to see him play. But Kobe was it, man. Kobe was the man. Kobe. Kobe did some shit. Like all people that he wasn't proud of. And got in because he was a public figure, got thrown out in front of everybody, and You know, it's just, but for someone to die with his daughter in a plane crash,
Yeah.
43 years old, and his daughter was, I think, what, 12.
Yeah, something like that.
You
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just sad. It's sad. It's just sad for everybody. I can't imagine what his wife's going through and his family. I
Yeah.
can't even justify it.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
Yeah.
You love Kobe too because you're a diehard Lakers fan. Um, it's one of those things. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Just sad, it's just sad all around, you know. So
sucks.
yeah, I mean, I just remember that morning or what, like getting the text or whatever, and just being like, no, that's not real. That's
Right.
that's not. And then it was like kept coming in, because at first, like, I can't remember. I heard it from a friend texted me, and it was like one of the news sites. But I went to ESPN. It wasn't on ESPN yet, so I was like, it's ESPN would have it. It's probably
Right.
not real. But then it was like, like a minute later, the ESPN like notification came through, and I was like, oh shit, this is.
Yeah, because we had men's league that day, and then I was up in the shower, and Barbie ran up and was like, "Hey, Kobe Bryant just died in a plane crash," and it was TMZ had it, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
okay. we both know how much TMZ is.
Yeah.
They stick a camera in your face, and you say something, and then they take it and spin with it. So I was like,
Yeah.
well, I'll wait for it to come out, and then,
Yeah.
like you said, it just kept coming
Yeah.
and coming, and then you find out that his daughter was with him. Then you find out a mother, a father, and a daughter was there, and then another mother and daughter, then another mother. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, and then you're just kind of like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
that really sucks. And
Yeah.
then I just can't even imagine. Like, everybody on that plane had so much more to live for,
Yeah.
and I'll never understand why, these people get taken from us,
Yeah.
and they're not bad people.
Yeah.
Case in point, John Huber, Brody Lee,
Yep.
what the fuck did he do? So
Yeah.
bad to die at 41 years old,
Yeah.
leave behind 2 kids and a wife,
Yeah.
it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
you keep all these rapists and these fucking murderers alive and these drug dealers alive,
Yeah.
and you take all these good people, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I
No.
just don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something that I'll never probably understand or get. It's just,
Yeah.
it just boggles my mind, man. I don't know.
Someday they'll come for us too.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I'm surprised they even came for my fat ass yet. So, just kidding, Mom. If you're listening, I'm kidding. Barbie, I'm kidding. Dad, I'm kidding. I know you watch. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We're both gonna live until we're 300. We'll be doing episode 300,000 right now.
Can you imagine us doing this when we're like 80?
Those were the golden age. Shaq fighting Cody. Those were the days.
Those are the days. We'll be talking about that 30 years ago, going, that was the best match in 2021.
Yeah.
Shaq won the AEW title too.
Yeah.
Oh! Totally bankrupt their company, but hey, he won. Yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. That was mean. Sorry. Fuck it. I don't care. How's the truth? Who gives a shit? Also, another anniversary this week was 7 years of the day that Punk walked out and went, fuck you, WWE.
Nice.
After the Royal Rumble 2014, Punk walked out and told Vince and Triple H basically to go fuck themselves in famous terms, and then never went back.
No.
And then had a tell-all podcast on Colt Cabana's podcast, then got sued again, and then lost his best friend, and then
now he's on Fox.
Well, no, kind of. He's still technically signed to Fox, but he's not doing anything because they canceled Backstage, and they only bring it back for big events, and he wasn't on last night.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it was Renee and Booker T and Paige.
Huh.
So the only person I wanted to see talk is Renee.
Yeah.
Paige is dumb. How many times can you get your fucking lips done? Like, really? And then Booker T. Booker T was a great wrestler back in the day. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Great wrestler, bad talker.
yes, yes, he was too, wasn't he? He was. All right, so now we'll talk about this too now because I texted you this last night along with my buddy Phil, and I said, "What the fuck?" So, so I don't know what the Rams are doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess they think Matt Stafford's worth the weight in gold, apparently, because you give up, yes, I know Goff is making $41 million guaranteed the next 2 years. I get that.
Yeah.
But you gave up a third round pick this year, a first in 2022, and a first in 2023
Yeah.
to the Lions, who can win with Goff if you think about it. So Goff isn't really that he's not that bad. He's won 42 games in the last 4 years as a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
And they beat Seattle in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And could have beat Green Bay if they got some stuff to go their way.
Yeah. I mean, could have beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago too.
Yeah.
It was, that was pretty close, but I don't think he's that bad. And not only that, he's 26, Stafford's 32. So, I mean, not every quarterback plays until they're 43,
Sure.
and Stafford had the back injury last year. And, so I don't know how long he's going to play, but the thing I had the biggest problem was those 2 first round picks and a third, it's like, holy God, apparently first round picks don't mean anything to you.
No, because they traded their last 7, I think it was.
Yeah.
After they picked Goff 1, they haven't had a first round pick since.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
they traded one for for Brandon Cooks. They traded one for Jalen Ramsey.
And they traded 2, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
So
so it's like for real, I don't know. They don't value the first round pick. I mean, I guess, Patriots kind of the same way. They always trade out of the first round. So maybe, that's a thing, but it's like, man, I don't know. That's a lot to give up, but it also made me think, if that's the going rate for Matt Stafford, what's Deshaun Watson going to get? What's Jimmy Garoppolo going to get? I mean, Garoppolo won't get, that much, but what's Watson going to get? I mean, Watson, deserves more than that. So, but
and he formally requested a trade this week, and they hired a new coach. So, and the new coach is like, yeah, he's gonna be here. No.
Yeah, and the reports this week were both like Watson's out and JJ Watt's gone. Too. Yeah. Like he played his last game in Houston. Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, that's another team that traded away a lot of picks for nothing really to show for it. So
they got Kenny Stills and Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah.
And I don't think Kenny Stills is even on the roster.
No.
I don't think he is. So I don't know. What's like you said, do the Jets pay out the ass for Watson?
Yeah.
Does a San Francisco pay for Watson? Like a Denver, teams like that. Because then do the not the Redskins, sorry, the Washington football team, do they pay for Watson? Because they were all in it for Stafford.
Yeah.
San Francisco, no one wanted to give up that extra first round pick. And the Rams were willing, so Detroit said, sure.
Yeah. Take it. These don't mean anything to us.
I get, Detroit's taking on a big hit in salary. I get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they still and they got their 7th pick of the draft this year. They could still draft another quarterback.
Yep.
I mean, imagine if Justin Fields slips to them at 7. What do you do then?
Yeah. Right.
Like, do you take a wide receiver to build around, or do you think Goff's it, and then you take a wide receiver? Because Kenny Galladay's a free agent. Do you bring him back, or do you draft a receiver in the draft? Like, it's going to be a lot of moving pieces. Like you said last week, this is probably better than the regular season, the off season.
Yeah. Yeah, I always love it. I love all the moves that happen. But this was so funny. It was like they said, it was like this is the first time I think since I don't know how long that 2 number 1 overall picks were traded for each other.
Yeah,
just kind of crazy. But
oh yeah, that's right. Because Stafford was 1 in 09.
Yeah. So,
I,
or something like that. Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, still, it's pretty crazy. But I mean, Stafford, good quarterback. I don't see him as a huge upgrade over Goff for the rent. But I don't know.
I mean, yeah, he's got Woods, he's got Cup, you know, um,
Yeah.
he's got Higby there. I mean, he's got
Yep.
some decent weapons. I mean, they have a three-headed monster at running back.
Yep.
Um, the line's okay when they're healthy, like everybody when they're
Yeah.
healthy.
If the defense is like decent,
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, you got
Yeah.
Ramsey and Donald who are
Yeah.
they're dominant forces at their position, but again, for how much longer?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess they know what they're doing. I mean, they're smarter than us, so
Yeah. Yeah.
we're just two guys chilling out, talking, and they're they're making money, so I mean they're doing
Yeah.
something right. So,
Yeah.
um, Rumble's tonight. I've already said my stuff. You don't care.
No. I mean, I'll be curious to see who wins and all that. I'll check the results and everything, but I mean, I'm not going to re-up for the network just to. I'm good for a little while. I just need the results. I don't have to watch it. I just want the results. So
Well, I canceled my network subscription. It runs out on the 12th of February because
yeah,
I just signed up for Peacock because
yeah. What's the point?
yeah, I can watch The Office now
Yeah,
again. Again. I can watch Parks and Rec again.
yeah, I get, yeah,
I can watch 30 Rock, all those great shows on there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting tonight. What happens? I mean, I don't want to see Goldberg win, but Stranger Things. I hope.
Yeah, I
I
just
hope.
don't want to see Goldberg. Period. I don't. Win or lose, I just don't want to see him anymore.
Well, apparently they want to. So
Yeah. We're the minority, I guess. But
yeah, I guess I had nobody else for McIntyre to wrestle. So
yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, who else is left on the roster?
I don't know.
Exactly. That's the problem.
I literally don't know.
I mean, that's the issue. I mean, Braun Strowman showed up on SmackDown at the end of the SmackDown this week, so he's in the Rumble.
Oh, okay. I mean, he should win because he's so big, but usually not how it happens, not how it works. So
did you read that Ryback and Mark Henry been going at it on Twitter?
no,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah. Mark Henry called him unsafe. And then Ryback claimed Mark Henry fell asleep before the WrestleMania match backstage, and someone said to him, "Well, you got to work with that piece of shit tonight." And then Mark Henry called him an unsafe worker and stuff like that. And
yeah,
Ryback wants to sue him for slander and blah 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 blah.
yeah, because he's not making any money anymore.
Because Mark Henry's on Busted Open, so I guess that happened on Busted Open. He said that stuff, and
yeah,
Ryback took offense, and
yeah, man.
And then the coach, Jonathan Coachman, said he'd never go back to the WWE. So I have no idea what happened with that.
Yeah.
I didn't know he wasn't there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he was somehow affiliated still, but
I guess not. Maybe
yeah.
Maybe he got cut over the pandemic and didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Because I know he was on there. He was doing like pre-show stuff. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Coach, if you want to reach out to us, let us know.
Yeah. We're hiring at the Brewer Post Office.
Yeah. I mean, come on the pod. We'll talk. Hey, man, whatever.
Yeah.
When do you want to do our Mount Rushmore?
The week after the Super Bowl.
So we'll do it the week after. Okay. So look for that.
Do you want to do Super Bowl stuff the week after?
We'll do Super Bowl stuff. We'll talk Super Bowl next Sunday morning before it comes on. Then we'll talk a little bit about it after. Yeah, we'll probably do it in 2 weeks. So 2 or 3 weeks. We'll do it, and then we'll talk. I'll talk about that because, like you said, it's going to change.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was talking to my friend Mike last night about like different episodes we want to do, and I brought that up, and he goes, "Oh, so who's on it?" I said, "Well, I got one person I know is on it." I said, and then my list because I'm like, so what do I do? Do I do like, do I look at it as who's the best work or who's the best character? Like, like what do I do? So I'm like, yeah, so I gotta figure out what direction I want to go and then
Yeah.
go.
Well, because either way, our friends are gonna shit all over us anyway. So.
Well, yeah. How did you leave off?
Right.
So and
Right.
so. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's every list. Like every list is debatable. And this isn't a definitive list. This is our personal
Yeah.
So it's like, what are your top 5 favorite movies? What are your top 5 favorite albums? Like
Right.
everybody's list is different. So
Oh, top 5 favorite albums, man. Ah. Whew.
yeah, I don't want to play that game.
The Black Album by Metallica is probably mine.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a few of my favorite, like the Verve Urban Hymns, Bob Dylan Blood on the Tracks. Those are like 2 definites.
Nirvana.
But then from there it's
Nirvana, Nirvana and MTV Unplugged.
Yeah, that I love that album.
Oh.
That's my favorite Nirvana album.
Oh, that's so great. I can listen to that all day.
Yeah.
I
got a funny story about that album I'll share if you.
Yeah.
So I have a friend, Mark Cates, or we used to be friends. We don't really talk too much anymore, but he worked for Geffen for years and stuff. And so like one morning I was eating breakfast and I was going through I was listening to Nirvana Unplugged and I had the CD case open. I was reading the liner notes and it said, album A&R by Mark Cates. And I was like, wait, what? So like this was like early 2000s. So I think I emailed him. I didn't like call it. So I was like, hey, you A&R, which stands for artist and repertoire. It's basically like a band's manager at the record label type thing. And so I said, you A&R the Unplugged record? And he goes, oh yeah, worked, he was like turns out he was like one of the people that signed Nirvana to like Geffen. And like, he's like, oh yeah, I worked really close to them for years. I was reading a biography about Kurt Cobain and he had they did like, I don't know, one of those, I can't think of the word right now, but they got a group of people together to tell them to get off drugs or whatever, an intervention. And he was one of the people there for that. Like to it. So I'm like, what the fuck? So he goes, I got a ton of stories. Next time I come up to Maine, we'll talk, because he lives down in Boston. And he came up and I was like, all right, you got to tell me a Nirvana story. And he goes, okay. He goes, they were playing the Forum out in California, like one out in LA. And he's like, I showed up in the afternoon and I went into the dressing room to say hi to him and stuff like that. And there was some guy who was like, kind of drunk or pretty rough looking. And he's sitting there talking to Kurt and he's like, yeah, no, I'd love to get up on stage and play with you. And Kurt's saying, yeah, maybe in between like sets, you can get up and noodle around or something. Like, and Mark was just like, yeah, I don't know who this guy is, like whatever, and like walked out. He said he was somewhere else talking. A few minutes later, Courtney Love came out and got him. She goes, Mark, can you get in here? Kurt's being really mean to Eddie Van Halen. It's had to go in and settle it down. But I was like, that's,
oh my God.
I had no idea how like close he had actually worked with the band and how well, like I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, how have we never had this conversation? Because he's a really impressive guy. He founded like Grand Royal Record with the Beastie Boys and same thing. I was like, oh, when did you first meet the Beastie Boys? He's like, oh, I had to give him a ride from like either Philadelphia to New York or Philadelphia to Boston or something when they were on the Madonna tour back in '86. And I was like, like he's this guy that's had this life that's incredible, but just one of the nicest guys. Like, cool dude.
Wait, hold on a second. Wait. Madonna toured with the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, the Beastie Boys like opened for like back in, I think it was like '86 or whatever. I think it was right around the time their first album came out. And
shit.
So so he gave him a ride in their car to their next venue. So but so I mean, it's literally like you hang out with this guy for like a half hour and you just have him tell stories and they're all like incredible, like just like the shows he's been to, the people he know, like it's just ridiculous. So I'm like, it's so cool that I just kind of know you, you know. It's like, but yeah, so I had to share that. But I love that Unplugged record is so
Wow.
good. Love it.
How'd you meet him?
Um, Back when I was on the road with Howie, like he has his own label called Fenway Recordings, but he was working with like V2 Records, and V2 was one of the labels trying to sign Howie, and so we spent like a lot of time like with him together and stuff like that. It was, I mean, just yeah, like yeah, great guy. Can't can't say enough good things about him, but yeah, but so yeah, all these things I wished I had known about before when I had like all this time to talk to him, you know, all these questions I could have asked, but yeah, it's
Now, speaking of Howie, do you still talk
yeah.
to Howie?
Yeah, yeah, I talked to him. His birthday was the 15th of January, so I talked to him on his birthday. But
Now, where's
yeah,
Howie now?
he lives in Seattle. Um, so he's there. He's, you know, nobody's doing shows right now. He's done some of like the online like pay-per-view shows, but yeah, he's living out there, likes it. He's living a pretty healthy lifestyle right now. He goes hiking all the time and just he's doing pretty well. You know, taking in online or taking classes and stuff. He's um, doing all kinds of like not interior design, but you know something along those lines, like type thing, like you know more of like the like architecture stuff. But so yeah, so he's yeah he's doing all right, doing pretty good.
Now, when you said you were on the road, how long were you on the road with him for?
Like total about like a year and a half.
Was this after high school?
Yeah, yeah, from like uh yeah 2001 into early 2003.
Now, what were you like? What did you do for him?
I sold his merch like when I first started, and then I tour managed him for like a month or two, and we were both kind of like, "This is too too much," and so I went back to selling merch, and that was pretty much that was what I did. But you know, he brought me out, I think, mostly because he was kind of, I mean, we were like best friends at the time, and I think he was homesick, and um, you know, and so he yeah, so you know I think he just wanted a friend out on the road, and it was one of those things where I was going to school but I wasn't really in love with going to school, and um you know he called and basically I withdrew on the last day I could possibly withdraw from classes, and I was like, yep, fuck it, I'll go. I made like $150 a week, like nothing, you know, but yeah, everything was paid for, meals, hotel, like all that stuff. But yeah, it was cool, you know, got to go to 43 states, met a lot of people and see a lot of places, and good experience. So.
Wow, I did not know this.
Separate podcast, man.
Yeah,
That's road stories.
yeah. We're definitely going to dive into this because I did not know this. This is all new information for me. This is great.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Those are the
That
days.
on the road. I did not know. Good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of fun. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, touring. And I'm sure, like you hear from like the wrestling podcasts and stuff too. It's all the same for everybody. It's always the road is always like the best of times and the worst of times. Like there are times when everything goes right and it's awesome, and there are a lot of days where like literally everything that fucking can go wrong goes wrong. So it's full of ups and downs. Not a lot of stuff in the middle, but
Gotcha. Well, yeah, we're definitely gonna have to dive into it. Like this is great. This is new stuff for me. Good. Oh,
yeah,
awesome. That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Matt Vachon, United States traveler.
Yeah, some parts of Canada, but yeah,
Really?
I quit right before we did the Europe tour. I couldn't handle the flight. I couldn't like mentally. I couldn't process being over water for 5 hours because yeah, I quit from a payphone in Boston because, or I think I called them from the bus station when I quit. I was headed to Boston to get on a train um, to meet him in New York City, and the next day we were going to fly to Europe and do the Europe tour. And yeah, by the time I got to Boston, I was like, I can't do this anymore, and so I took the last bus, or yeah, bus back to Portland, And then I had to call my mom at like 11 o'clock at night, being like, hey, you know, it was in January too. I'm like outside and like I couldn't even come inside because it was closed. So I had to wait in like this like hallway for like a couple hours. So my mom got down there to come get me. So yeah, but yeah.
Wow. Was he mad you quit?
No, like you know, he was bummed out, but he was never like mad at me about it. He was just like, he's like, I get it, you know, because like that was the thing. I loved a lot of it, but I hated the travel like all the time, and we were just so busy all the time. And I didn't necessarily mind that, but I hated the travel. And so I mean, you know how I am with all my anxiety issues and stuff like that. So it's like you know, I just yeah, it was time. You know, I wish, you know, in retrospect, I could have just like tranquilized myself and made it. And so to at least you know, because you know, free tour of Europe basically, or a paid tour of Europe, you know, and you know, but you know, with your best friend, and it's, you know, it would have been pretty cool experience. But yeah, I just mentally, I couldn't do it, and I had to stop. So he understood, and you know, he never, I think he was bummed I waited kind of to the last minute. but um but he was always like, he was, you know, friend first, you know, employer second. So like he was cool. Yeah, there was never any beef or bad blood. So
Good, good.
yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about.
I'll try to keep it PG-13.
No, don't even bother. Don't even bother. If we could pop my father right now, he's sitting in his chair. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up today. This was fantastic. So we got so much more stuff to talk about. Okay, so this has been the weekly wrap with Vachon and Rapp, and we are out. And we will see you guys next Sunday for another edition of the weekly wrap with Vachon and Rapp. Peace out, y'all.
Talk to you soon. Later.
Later.